You know, it doesn't matter what time of day, I can eat dessert, especially when it's chocolate and strawberries too. I mean, two of my favorite things Deanne and Jennifer are mixing up this morning. They're from the Prodigy Pantry, and I'll let you guys explain what you're making.
Well, we're making a chocolate chip pound cake, and I've modified the recipe a little bit by adding a few extra chocolate chips because you can never have enough chocolate.
I agree. I love chocolate. You know, if you're going to do chocolate, just do it right.
Well, you really, the most important thing when you do a pound cake is to make sure that your bundt pan is well greased. I like to use real butter.
You don't want it to stick.
You do not want it to stick because it will come out crumbly.
Yeah.
And that just isn't looking pretty. And then you do the traditional putting flour and powder out the bundt pan. It's a little more complicated than just a straight tube pan, but it makes a pretty looking cake.
It does. And you know what, that's one thing I don't know that I've ever made. I used to watch my mama make bundt cakes all the time, but I don't think I've ever made one. So I can't wait to see how you do this.
It's so easy. You just make sure that it's all floured so that it doesn't stick.
Okay. Now you have the flour in here. Stick this to the side. What else do we need?
Well, this is one of those Prodigy Pantry loves recipes that have like 5 or 6 ingredients. You dump them together and you cook them. Doesn't matter if it's dessert, if it's a main meal. And in our cookbook, we compiled all of those things. So this is one of those simple recipes, and you can dump them in, Jennifer. Okay. Cake, we use a yellow cake mix because, you know, you don't have to be complex when you're cooking. You can do really simple things.
Absolutely. That's the best sometimes.
And this has 3 kinds of chocolate because, you know.
More chocolate the better, as we were saying.
We have chocolate pudding that you put in with the cake mix. So that's your first chocolate.
Okay.
And then you crack in 4 eggs. If you'll crack in some eggs. One of the secret ingredients of this cake that keeps it moist is sour cream. You need an 8-ounce container of sour cream. And you're just dumping it all into your big bowl.
All right.
And then you need some water, you need some oil. You take a 1/2 cup of water and a 1/2 cup of oil. And those are the key ingredients. And once you beat that all up, you add your chocolate chips. So, I mean, you can literally whip up this cake if someone calls you and says, hey, I'm on my way over. I'll be there in an hour. You can make this cake because it takes 45 minutes in the oven and about 5 minutes to mix up.
And most of these things you probably have in your pantry and your refrigerator already. You may just have to go run up to the store for a few items.
Yeah, like eggs. If you know, I'm always 1 egg short. I don't know about you.
Or cake mix or sour cream, things like that. So very easy to make. And you'll find the recipe on our website. You're just going to stir.
We're going to beat it up with the beaters, but I know they make a lot of noise.
All right, you'll find the recipe on our website. And we're also going to be talking about a big fundraiser they're doing in just a few minutes. Pennies for Prodigy. Did I say that right?
You did.
Pennies for Prodigy. They're collecting pennies. And again, we're going to tell you more in just a few minutes.
We are back with Deanne from Prodigy Pantry and Jennifer from Bancorp South talking about a big fundraiser that's coming up and also working on this delicious chocolate chip pound cake, which is where I want to start. Deanne, where are we at in the process?
Well, we've folded in. We're going to fold in the rest of the chocolate chips, you know, and
make sure you get all of them in there.
You know, it could be 6 ounces. If you're like me, it's probably more like 8 ounces because you know what? When it melts in there, it's nice and gooey. This is it's a really heavy cake, so we'll put it in our well-greased and well-floured bundt pan to make it pretty. So that's the last of the steps. So it's a simple dessert or breakfast if you like cake for breakfast.
Hey, you can eat it any time of day, I think. I think there's no rules defining the laws of cake eating, right?
No, you know, as long as you enjoy it in moderation.
That's right. So once it's in there, how long does it take to bake?
It takes 45 to 55 minutes in a 350-degree oven.
Okay, so we'll get that in there. We'll put it in the oven after this, but we also want to tell the folks all about Pennies for Prodigy Pantry. Jennifer, why don't you tell the folks a little bit about what's going on here?
Well, this year we have teamed up with the Prodigy Pantry to raise 1 million pennies. That's our goal, which is equivalent.
1 million pennies.
A lot of pennies.
Yeah.
$10,000 is the equivalent. And we invite anyone in the community to come out to Bancorp South. Bring your pennies. We'll count them for you.
You know what? And I was thinking about this. I think I have about 100 pennies in my desk. I've got another couple hundred in my house, so I definitely need to swing by and drop off some of those pennies. But that's the thing. Everybody has these lying around because you don't kind of keep them with you at all times. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yeah, I think President Obama actually mentioned something about maybe getting rid of the penny at some point, so we may have to change this to nickels for Prodigy Pantry in the future.
That's good too.
It is good too.
That's good too, but the good news is right now you can take them all. And where do they need to go? Where is Bancorp South located?
We're located 2 branches in Mobile, Pine Brook Shopping Center and Schillingers Road, and we're also in Foley, Fairhope, and Spanish Fort.
All right, and listen, they're trying to collect $1 million, so they need your help out there. Once this $1 million or $10,000 is raised, how does this help Prodigy Pantry?
Well, Prodigy Pantry, through our buying power, can buy food pennies on the pound. And so the reality is that you can take that spare change you have, and we will take nickels and dimes and quarters too. But
Yes.
you can take that spare change and use it to help families in need. We can fight hunger a pound of pennies at a time. And for an interesting fact, because I know you love fun facts.
Sure.
We looked it up. It's 180 pennies in a pound.
180 pennies in a pound. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I like that fun fact. I'll remember that. So plenty of different ways you can help out, whether it's pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, or money that folds. You can contribute to Prodigy Pantry, but they are trying to collect those $1 million pennies. All right, so we have this going. We'll put it in the oven. When we come back, we'll taste that. We've got a lot going on here in the kitchen, ladies. Thanks so much. We'll check in just a little bit.
And it looks good. The chocolate on the bowl, that's my favorite part. I always wanted to
You like to lick it, don't you?
Yes!
I knew it.
I
knew you
always
were
wanted
gonna say
to.
that.
My mom used to call me and say, "Cherish the beaters," and I would always,
There
that
it is.
part.
That's it.
Oh, that's my favorite.
You would dig. I bet you'd put your whole face in that thing, wouldn't you?
Well, I had it all over my hands, and I know. I mean, from
Your mom
when I
put
was
you down?
little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to take a shower, bath. Well, I took my baths afterwards when I was a little girl, you know,
Yeah.
like 2, 3 years old. But yeah, I have pictures with it all over my face, the chocolate.
That is awesome.
I liked to cook even when I was little. I had to help in the kitchen.
Do you have an easy bake oven?
I don't remember having an easy bake oven. I just always remember being, you know, basically right under my mom or right under my mama, always cooking because
That's awesome.
they were both always in the kitchen when they weren't working.
Nice.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us here in our great kitchen set on Studio 10. Jennifer and Deanne are with us, and they have been working on this chocolate chip pound cake. Oh, my tummy has been rumbling, and then I walk over and there are strawberries added to it, some whipped cream, some of these chocolate chips that Deanne said she's been eating during the break, and so I'm like, well, I hope you're saving some for me, and I see that you have. Because you put them in the whipped cream. Now, we're talking about Prodigy Pantry this morning because you guys have a big drive that is happening, Pennies for Prodigy. Tell us how it works.
Well, we would like you to collect all the spare coins and pennies that you can find in your laundry room, under your floor mats of your car. Collect them, bring them to any Bancorp South branch, and they'll be happy to count them for us. Our goal is 1 million pennies, and that will equate to food for hundreds of families in Baldwin County. So we're feeding about 1,000 families a month right now with healthy, fresh produce, fruits and vegetables, and canned goods. And this will allow us to feed about 500 families. So if you can find some spare coins, bring them in, drop them off at the bank, we would really appreciate it.
And they can do it today.
Today, all the way through April 30th.
Through April 30th, so you have a little while to do that, but don't wait till the last minute. Go ahead and get that spare change and pennies. Hey, I'm always picking pennies up out of parking lots and things like that, so you can do that too. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't care if somebody looks at me funny. I'm going to pick up pennies. Somebody else threw them down. They can go to a wonderful use, as you just heard here. So tell us a little more about Prodigy Pantry and the things that you guys do, how people can get involved, volunteer.
We have a lot of volunteer opportunities. We are a volunteer program. The volunteers are the heart of our program. They are there to help families in need with whatever crisis they are suffering from. We provide the box staple groceries. We work with a lot of supportive programs to bring the resources that families need to them right in our location. You know, when you're hungry, people can't tell it. It's invisible. It is somebody sitting in a pew at church with you. It is the child on the playground. And it is the mom with 2 kids in the grocery store with just a loaf of bread. It can be anyone who suffers from hunger in our community. The numbers are staggering. Almost 1/3 of the children in South Alabama are food insecure.
So sad.
And Prodigy Pantry's numbers have continued to climb over the past couple of years. But everybody can do a little something. That's the idea behind the pennies. The widow's mite story in the Bible, she gave her 2 little coins, and God blessed them and multiplied that. And if we do that with pennies, look at the impact we can have in our community. So we're not asking for a lot. We're asking for you to find your spare change, collect it, and drop it off.
Yeah, the kids parents didn't ask, you know, to be hungry.
No.
They can't do that. They can't go out and get jobs, and
No.
you know, they want to eat. And you never know what happened with their family, if their parents maybe got laid off and they haven't been able to find work yet, and they're just trying to do the best they can to take care of themselves and their families. So pennies, that's all. No matter what you have, even you know, if it's $1 in pennies, whatever you can spare would be wonderful. Now this, I mean, do I get to taste it?
Yeah.
I've been eyeing it all morning.
We're about to take it for ourselves. No, we made that for you.
Okay, I'm very excited about this. And again, this recipe is on our website. I know you're going to want this. It's easy, it's quick, and I know it's going to taste so good. And I'm going to tell you for sure. Just as I suspected. Oh, and it's so good. It's nice and soft. Oh, yummy. Make sure you grab the recipe, and you can also get more information about Prodigy Pantry and how you can help out with the Penny program and in other ways. All that information is under the Studio 10 tab on fox10tv.com. Ladies, it was so nice having you here.
Yes, thank you.
And I can't wait to eat more of this.
We're going to have some too.
I think you should.